In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do some replacing of components using the Vault. So a lot of the times when you are working in design, you might have some alternate parts that you've got, and you'll use the replace tool in Inventor to do this. So you sort of click on it, go to selection. Sorry, if it's more than part, you can just select all occurrence if you want to sort of select everything at once. Or we go to your component, and then you've got your replace or replace all. Then you go find the component that's sitting in your your local drive somewhere, and you replace it with that. Now that can be quite tedious, especially if you've got sort of sub-assemblies and the component that you want to replace is sitting in a sub-assembly, because that replace in Inventor only really works when you're replacing on the same level. So it's the same assembly, or same level as the assembly or the sub-assembly. So what we can do is we can actually go into Vault and replace it, and you'll notice how it will replace it and not actually mess up your model when you do open up again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Vault over here, and you see I've got my parts over here. So with this, if you right click, and this is where it becomes a little bit funny, but we'll actually go right click and you go copy design. Okay, so there's not a replace button, but we go to copy design. What it's going to open up is this over here. Now, if you look at it, if I select any of these components and I right click on it, I've got a couple of different options. So copy, copy to, replace, exclude, reuse, or find and replace. Okay, so you can actually find and replace a component that's sitting somewhere in the Vault. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go and replace AF-2145-00. So this one over here. So I right click on replace, and then it goes and looks in the Vault where that component is. So that component is, let's actually go search for that component. So I'm going to set it over here, and let's go look for, search for AF-2145. Let's see what that brings up. Okay, so there we go. So it's gone looked in the whole Vault, and it tells me there we go. And that's the one I want to replace it with, AF-2145-02-replace. So I select it and click on replace. So what it does now, it will then go and replace this component over here, and you'll see that it's also changed the main components, which I actually don't want. So let's go and take this back to AF-21619. Okay. And you see this is actually a copy, and I don't want to copy, I want to reuse this. Okay, so what it's telling me over here now is that I'm editing that that assembly. So it was replacing it, making a copy of that assembly. I changed it back, and I said, you know what, we just want to reuse this. So now it's going to change just that component over there. So let's see what happens with this now. So once I'm done, execute copy, and there we go. So now what happens, let's go back to our Vault over here. I'm just going to go and close this, as this has changed. Okay. So go back to my Vault, and you'll see there it's, it has changed over there. So I'm going to go get, it'll go then and just make sure that everything is happy. Because what I do when I get it, I make a copy of this onto my local drive. So now let's go and open this up, and let's see what's happened in the history browser, or in the browser, sorry. So let's go to open. Do you want to check it out? Yes, I want to check it out. And it opens it up over here. So has a reference to replace, is resolved to replace, which is not okay. So great, yes. I'd like to update the assembly now. Yes, I do. And go and accept that. Okay, so you can see over there that it has replaced it over there. Now, when replacing any component, this might typically happen where it's not sort of getting the same constraints. It's just not finding those same constraints over there. So you'll just have to go and do a little bit of an edit. But as you can see, I have gone and I've created this replace components over here instead of the normal AF-2145-02. Now, yes, you might say, well, it didn't really work because of the constraints that came up, which are now sort of sick. But this does happen when you do your normal replace as well. So it is a normal functional inventor, but it just allows you, this is just one of the ways it allows you to go and replace components that are sitting in sub-assemblies as well with the use of the vault. Thanks very much for watching.